Hey everyone, welcome back to Ton Does Linux and More. I'm your host, and wow, what a week it's been in the Linux world. We've got some seriously exciting stuff to cover today. From major kernel developments to some really cool desktop environment progress, and even some gaming improvements that'll make you want to fire up your favorite titles right now. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into what's been happening in our favorite open source ecosystem. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for the cosmic desktop news. It's getting really close to something special. Alright, let's start with the heart of it all, the Linux kernel. Linus Torvalds just dropped Linux 6.17-RC4, and honestly, it's looking pretty solid. He mentioned in his announcement that the development cycle feels pretty normal, which in Linus speak means things are going smoothly. Now here's where things get a bit dramatic. Bcachefs, you know, that next generation file system we've all been watching, has been marked as externally maintained. What does this mean? Well, there's been some ongoing friction between the Bcachefs developers and the kernel maintainers about how pull requests should be handled. It's not the end of Bcachefs by any means, but it does mean we might not see new features landing in the mainline kernel for a while. The project's still very much alive though. But hey, it's not all drama. This release brings some really nice hardware support improvements. We're talking about the Logitech G Pro 2 Lightspeed mouse, the Wacom Art Pen 2 tablet, and even better input support for the Lenovo Legion Go. If you've got one of these handheld gaming devices, you're gonna love this. And here's something that made me chuckle. There's actually a fix for old Intel Pentium 4 processors. Yeah, those ancient CPUs from like 2000. So if you've got some retro hardware lying around, Linux 6.17 has got your back. Now let's talk distributions, and we've got some really exciting releases this week. First up is AerynOS 2025.08, which dropped on August 31st. For those who might not know, this is the distribution that used to be called SerpentOS, and it's really making some waves. What makes this release special? Well, they're shipping with some of the absolute latest desktop environments. We're talking GNOME 48.4, KDE Plasma 6.4.4, Sway 1.11, and even Cosmic Alpha 7. They're running Linux kernel 6.15.11 and Mesa 25.2.1 graphics drivers, so you're getting a really cutting-edge experience. But what I really like is the software selection they've added. They've included Waydroid for running Android apps, OpenVPN for your networking needs, and both Protontrix and Winetrix for gaming. It's clear they're thinking about what users actually want to do with their systems. Next up, we got CachyOS with their August 2025 release, and this one's all about gaming performance. Now, quick pronunciation note, it's CachyOS, not CachyOS. It comes from the word cache. The big news here is their custom Proton version, Proton CachyOS. They've added a DLSS version upgrader, which is pretty clever, support for forcing the latest preset, and they've even got FSR4 support for RDNA3 GPUs. Just set the Proton FSR4 RDNA3 upgrade environment variable and you're good to go. They've also bundled the necessary NVIDIA libraries and added NT-Sync support. For gamers making the switch to Linux, this is exactly the kind of polish that makes the transition smoother. Alright, here's the news I'm most excited about this week. System76's Cosmic desktop has hit a major milestone. They've completed the initial setup experience. And let me tell you, this is looking really, really good. What impressed me most is how they've prioritized accessibility from the start. The screen reader is enabled by default. There's a built-in magnifier that follows your cursor, and high-resolution scaling is handled automatically. But the customization options are where this really shines. You get 6 different themes to choose from. You can choose between single or dual panel layouts, which is great for people coming from Windows or Mac OS. And the workflow configuration is really thoughtful. You can choose between vertical or horizontal workspaces, decide whether windows tile or float, and set workspaces as pinned or dynamic. The tiling system has been completely reworked too. It's more intuitive now, with extra grid layouts and new keyboard shortcuts. And the launcher, well, it's designed to be your central hub for everything. If you want to try this out, you can download the latest Pop! OS release and install the Cosmic desktop environment. It's still an alpha, so expect some rough edges, but it's definitely worth checking out. Now let's talk about something that's going to make a lot of NVIDIA users very happy. The open source Nouveau driver is getting a major reliability fix, and this is huge. For years, Nouveau has been plagued by random crashes and instability issues. You'd be playing a game or working on something, and suddenly everything would freeze. Really frustrating stuff. But thanks to some excellent detective work by Faith Ekstrand and David Early, they've tracked down the root cause, a fencing bug that was causing context to randomly wedge. The fix is less than 24 lines of code, but it should make the Nouveau driver experience dramatically more stable. This is coming in Linux 6.17 and will be backported to stable kernels. Speaking of graphics, we've also got Mesa updates. Mesa 25.1.9 was released as the final version in the 25.1 series, and Mesa 25.3 is bringing 8 times MSAA support to the LLVM pipe software rasterizer. And don't forget about all that new hardware support in the kernel, new mice, tablets, and improved handheld gaming device support. It's always great to see Linux staying current with the latest hardware. Let's shine a spotlight on some community projects. Armbian 25.8.1 is out with Linux 6.16 support and expanded board support for single-board computers. We're also waiting for Linux Mint 22.2 Zara to drop any day now. The beta's been looking solid, so keep an eye out for that release. In some interesting news, Ubuntu 25.10 might ship with an unstable kernel due to timing issues with their kernel freeze. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And finally, while the lead developer of Asahi Linux has stepped down, the project to bring Linux to Apple Silicon Macs is still going strong. The community is committed to keeping this important work moving forward. And that wraps up another exciting week in Linux. From kernel updates to desktop environment progress, gaming improvements, and driver fixes, there's never a dull moment in our open source world. What caught your attention this week? Are you excited about Cosmic Desktop? Planning to try out AerynOS or CachyOS? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you all, and your feedback really helps shape what we cover. If this video helped you stay up to date with Linux news, hit that like button and subscribe for more weekly content. And hey, if you've got suggestions for what you'd like to see covered, drop those in the comments too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.